Hi, I'm Serena, and this is my co-host, Mike, and you're listening to Diapers and Deployments, Who's Got It Worse? The podcast that talks about all things military, the good, the bad, and the oh shit.
On today's show, we're going to talk about closing on our first home and maybe charging admission to our new pool. And then we have special guest Bruce Thompson on from Vets2Industry, and he talks about the power of networking.
This podcast is supported by Skill Mill Corporation, helping veterans transition to the civilian workspace.
Well, Serena, this house buying experience got real in the past couple of weeks. So what happened?
Closing time.
Ooh, you closed.
Yeah, we closed. We closed on our house and we are inside. I don't know if you can hear me echoing a little bit because I'm in my empty house right now. No household goods coming for what they said was 75 plus days.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I was afraid to even start the process of the household good application because, I was like, oh my gosh, it gets set in motion. What if something happens and the seller backs out or the loan falls through? I don't know. I've never bought a house before. It kind of freaked me out. So I literally waited until the Friday before we closed to contact the Navy and ask about our household goods. And they said, just so you know, ma'am, it's 75 plus days. And I literally, my mouth hit the floor. I was like,
oh
what?
My God. So you're another 2.5 months. They said plus. So
yeah, plus. I mean, nothing's been set in stone yet. Like I applied, but that doesn't mean anything's happened yet. So it's giving us time to make some changes. Like we're doing a little bit of, I'm not even updating. The house was ready to move in, but like making our personal touches into it. We're probably going to paint a little bit and, finish a room that we have that's not finished. And that's probably will take us 2 months, 3 months to do. Right. You know what I mean?
So
and not having not having our stuff in here that's probably better. But also we have my parents still to lean on, which is great. Like, it's not like we're living in here on air mattresses, like we hang out here all day on the weekends. We are here at nighttime doing things. The kids have been swimming and swimming and swimming. So we just go home really to sleep at my parents' house.
Well, when we moved here, of course, we moved from Hawaii. Household goods took forever.
Yeah.
But we got here and we were going to get a hotel room the first night, or first 3 or 4 nights. And listen, by the time we spend all the money, we went to a local mattress store. We bought a mattress, right? A couple, and we slept in an empty house for a couple of days,
Yeah.
And then I went to a store and I bought a TV and bought some used furniture just to get us by. And then it took a couple of months. So I think the military members are used to what you're saying.
I mean, the seller was very kind and I asked for a lot of the stuff in the contract. So like they left all their pool furniture. They left us a bunch of bar stools, which is our island is big. Like you can use it like a kitchen table. He left us a couch.
Oh, so you're good then.
Yeah, I've been cooking at night. Like I come home, I come here after work and I have my Instapot that I brought with us when we moved. And
and your damn Instapot.
I know. And I've been cooking, like I've been making meals and whatnot, trying to get the house to smell like us, because it smells like new carpet and whatever.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I don't want to talk about my week. This is all about you. I like the home ownership thing because it is hell to go through the process. And I think, if you haven't bought a home and you're listening, it is not easy, is it, Serena?
It is not. And, from what I understand, it was so stressful. And from what I understand, our realtor was like, you don't know how amazing these sellers have been for you guys.
Oh, for you
she's
guys,
like, yeah. She's like, this has been a dream. And so I don't ever want to buy another house again, because if this was the best experience, I don't want to know what's out there. Like this was great. I don't want to see anything different.
Well, I think our house almost caused a divorce, but we built our first house when we were 21 years old.
Gosh, that's babies. I can't even imagine.
I know. And our realtor. So Roy Kincaid was our realtor. We were just going through old boxes, trying to get rid of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. He was just nice old guy. And me and her were so young and he was so old, and he had a fruit basket waiting on us when we got there. And he took us around, and then he got us the house for way cheaper than we should have ever gotten it. Mm-hmm. We only had 3 days, of course, to do all this back before the internet, like we talked about earlier. But
yeah,
we had all these envelopes with him. He had pictures. He had given us pictures when they poured the concrete, like the whole process. He sent us pictures and a handwritten letter and made sure that we were informed. And he walked us through, Serena, and he did everything for us. So and it was stressful for us, and he did, all that. So
right.
For a young couple, it's hard. And if you're listening, it's stressful, and all the way up until closing, right? I know you were nervous the day before we closed. I still remember walking through the house and there was some electrical outlet. And the guy's like, well, you can't close tomorrow because the electrician has to come in and do all. Oh man, my wife, she cried her way to that electrician, not having to do that. So God bless her crying.
Yeah. I mean, we got to the point, like one of the nights there was something happening, like the loan was already done. Like they said, your loan is fine. It's cleared. Like this guy is going to get his money, but like the title company didn't have all the information or something. And it was like 9 o'clock at night. And our realtor's asking us if we had received the final closing disclosure. And I'm like, no, but it's 10 o'clock. Like who's sending that? And she was like, no, you can get them really late. Like you're required to have it by law. So she's like, if you don't have this, you might not be able to close. And I'm like, no.
No.
She called like the VA specialist that we had like helping us. And he answered the phone and he talked her through it. And he said, no, it's fine. They can still close. I mean, we went through Veterans United. We're not sponsored by them at all, but they were amazing. And
yeah, I think I'm about to do a refi with them as well.
Yeah. They were great.
Now's the time. So
yeah.
All right. So if you're listening out there, it sounds like Serena had a great experience. I'm a little jealous because her, the people she bought the house from left her liquor and a couch and everything.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Yep. Mine left me a ripped pool, but that's a different story. And Serena Regina, my wife, she worked for a title company. So I'm gonna have to ask.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she worked there for 3 or 4 years, I guess. I'll have to ask now. Closing, it just amazes me that you can go through this whole process and then not be ready right at the end. And it's some little piece of paperwork that someone just dropped the ball on, honestly.
Yeah. Like the final walkthrough, we met the seller, the husband and wife. And she was crying and she was like really happy that we were buying the house. Like, she's like, you're the perfect family. And I just love that your family's moving in here and can continue on with the memories. But her husband had to like drag her out of the house.
Oh my God.
So, and I got like immediate Facebook requests and I was like, don't be a stranger.
Awesome.
You can see all the things that we're doing. And they live a few hours away now, but she said she wasn't giving up her hairdresser. So I was like, whenever you're in town, you can stop by. And they have grandkids and stuff that live here,
right.
But I was like, don't be a stranger. Obviously they were very popular in this neighborhood. So many people have stopped by saying, hey man, we used to be able to swim in your pool whenever we wanted. So
you're like, that shit's over.
Yeah. So the membership starts at this price.
Well, you had the great experience. And now that you're a homeowner, guess what happens next, Serena?
What?
You get to spend a lot of money.
Oh, I have been.
Yeah. So if Brandon's listening, break out the checkbook, my friend. All right, Serena. So we had the pleasure of introducing a Marine Corps guy. Now, don't hold that against them if you can, right? I mean, Bruce Thompson, he was in the Marine Corps. Now he's the Vice President of Vets2Industry. So welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Can't wait to talk more about, all the things going on that Vets2Industry has and just getting involved in a conversation with y'all.
Well, I want to tell you, the first thing I want to tell you is, my last 5 years in the Navy, I was command master chief with a bunch of corpsmen, and we call corpsmen the adult supervision of the Marine Corps. I just want to throw that out there.
Hey, they love to take care of us. We love them. There's a special bond between the corpsman and the Marine.
Vets2Industry. So you're the vice president there. What exactly do you guys do for the listeners out there who've never heard of Vets2Industry?
So what I have branded us as is we're changing the way transition is done. Our 2 hashtags are pay it forward, how can I help? And that's what we are. We're here because we've been through the transition process. We have great veteran advocates that have been through the process. We have those that haven't been through the process. They're on active duty that already feel that calling to give back. And so we do that in a few different ways. We have our free resource library. Right now, we've got about 1,000 resources in it. Our goal is to at least double, if not triple or quadruple that before the end of the year. But with COVID hit, we were going to have our first in-person event. Oh. And obviously, COVID said, not today.
No, not
Bummer.
today.
So within 2 weeks, we turned our in-person into a virtual event. And I'll be honest, it's a handful of individuals that want to do something positive. We didn't really know what we were doing other than, hey, we're going to hop on this Zoom call and we're going to answer people's questions. And we had about 120 to 130 people attend for the first time. Once we got done with that, the energy was just off the charts. We didn't have a structure or anything else, but we just knew that we had just done something amazing. No one else was doing it, especially to start COVID. I won't say we were ready, but we adapted very quickly.
You were military ready, which means
right. So we came together and said, hey, we're going to continue doing this, but we got to figure out a format. What is the structure of it? It is just amazing. 14, 15 months. We've already had 20 virtual networking circuit events, our big 5-hour event on Saturdays.
I know. I attended one of those, man.
And I'll tell you, they're hop on, hop off. So don't be scared by 5 hours. You can hop on, hop off, hop back on.
Well, and what I noticed is it's veterans, right? Veterans helping veterans. And anytime we get together, you don't want to leave. I mean, that's kind of the way we're wired, right?
Yeah, it's, we bring these together, and I'll tell you, there was nothing formal about this process. We're there to help one another. And we have recruiters that come on there to talk about employment opportunities. Our last one or the one before that, we had over 80 recruiters that were on there talking about all the opportunities that they had. And mind you, this is a completely free event. No one pays to come on. We don't pay anybody. We don't charge anybody.
It's just a good networking event. I mean,
it is a great networking event. You name it. Everybody is at these events to share and to exchange information, resources, and make connections. We leave the military, we take our uniform off. And one of the first things we lose is that connection, that camaraderie that we've had for 3 to 40 years of service, however long individuals stay. And that's included with a lot of the veteran spouse community. There's always that sense of connection. And all of a sudden, you move where you're not by a base, you move where you're not by all these individuals that share a familiar experience as you. And that leads to depression and anxiety and, woe is me and what am I going to do now? And it kind of just turns the stress up.
Serena still stresses me out.
Serena, come on.
Serena's down there like, I don't understand the whole 11 thing. And that's a shame.
Oh, no. Hey, she was my ombudsman. She understands. Well, I've said on TGPS panels, of course, I'm part of Vets2Industry on the resource page. I've been the recruiter. I kind of see all sides. I was active duty. The questions are pretty much all the same. And you're right. The fear of asking a recruiter sometimes, should I call and ask this dumbass question that I got in my head, right? On there, you can ask anything you want and it's okay. I think veterans need to get over the fact that, it's not that they have to beg for a job. People are wanting them to work. They undersell themselves all the time. I see it all the time. It's okay to ask questions. These networking events, right? It's okay to get on there and network with recruiters and put your resume out to as many people as you can, because people are looking for veterans. And I think that the veterans just need to be a little more confident. And I'm sure you see the same thing, right?
And I'll tell you, it's kind of twofold. One, veterans not understanding how to really transition their skills and to brand and market themselves. And the second part is 1% serves. So that means 99% have not served, don't have people that they're familiar with that have been in service. They don't understand all those extra things that a veteran or a military spouse brings to the table. The more jobs the better you are, because we can put you in all these things. And oh, by the way, you got like 10, 15 collateral duties because that's just the nature of the beast. And then you go out and you start to say, well, what is it you want to do? I'll tell you, like my example, I wore the uniform for just shy of 24 years. I did motor transport. I did maintenance management. I did communication electronics. I worked with security clearances, government child charge card programs, the travel program.
All that sounds horrible so far, by the way.
Yeah.
And you have that. And oh, by the way, while you're doing all this, you always did training and development. You always did counseling. And
equal opportunity.
That HR. I was an equal opportunity rep and a uniform victim advocate.
Yes.
But now when you go out there and you start saying, well, what do you want to do next? And you're like, well, I can do all these things.
Right.
Who wouldn't want me? Because I've got like 20 jobs that I can perform. And it's like, no. You got to take all that and close it right back down and tell us what is that one and a half thing you do so well that's your focus. That's what you want to do for the next 6 months to 20 years, depending on how long we stay. That is one of the hardest things for us to figure out because we're used to being the jack of all trades.
Wearing a lot of hats.
And then all of a sudden someone says, no, what is it that you want to do? Like, give me one job, one like industry that you want to be a specialist in. And you're like, can't box me in. I don't want to just have one thing.
Read my evals, man.
And that's where it goes is like, we're looking for that subject matter expert that's doing X, especially for those of us who've been in for years. Now, we don't have a clue about what this non-military thing is.
I was going to ask if you had a hard time transitioning out of the military. Did you or your spouse have a hard time?
We stayed on base in the Camp Pendleton, northern San Diego County, California, for a year after I got out.
Mm-hmm.
She was a family readiness officer, so she had that employment. I was one of those ones that my last day in uniform was like second week of January. My retirement date was April 30th, and I was going to be one of those guys that's double dipping, getting 2 paychecks, and loving all that.
Right.
Well, in preparation for that transition, I got really honest with my doctors.
Mm.
And so I spent 9 months, talking to my doctor about, all the things that had ailed me, but I'd just been sucking up and dealing with.
Well,
Sure.
yeah, because you have to if you want to
That's
deploy.
the name of the game. Yeah.
Next thing you know, I'm sent to 5 different specialists, and everybody wants to poke, prod, and test for this and that. And all of a sudden, people are like, getting MRIs back, and they're like, your back, your shoulders, your knees, like
That's a song.
How do you walk? Like literally, like how do you get up and
Because you have to.
get out of bed?
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
And it's like, well, my corpsman tech hooked me up with some good vitamins. I'm, wrapped up with a lot of braces and ace bandages and duct tape and whatever it takes, because that's just what we do.
Well, you are a walking testament to clean socks and Motrin. That's all.
I'm telling you, when I got to the point where I should be looking for employment, my focus was on health.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing that, we had the kids out the house, we were debt free. Those were part of the requirements for me to retire.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked that out. And me and my spouse had open communication, and we were sharing information. And like I said, in her role, heck, she was getting me to training. I'm like, what the hell is this? She's like, you're going for it. Don't worry. I got you signed up. I'm like, all right. I didn't know what Franklin Covey classes were. And all of a sudden she's like, yeah, these are great things. And all right, well, I'm not at the shop, so this is cool. I can show up and do these.
So this sounds like a typical Marine. She says, go. And you're like, yes, ma'am. Good Marine.
I didn't raise an idiot. and so where I should have been like that focused on finding that employment, that what next, I was more focused on surgeries and getting healthy. And so I completely ignored a lot of those things. Now, while I was in service, I earned 2 associates, a bachelor's, my MBA, got plenty of certifications. I networked extremely well, and I had already been involved with a lot of local community veteran programs, nonprofits. So it wasn't difficult.
Right.
And I'll tell you, about a week before I was going to be officially retired and facing that first day of unemployment in my adult life, magically, Lucas Group, a military headhunting firm, called me up. Hey, we got a perfect job for you. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Just email it to me. I'll look at it. I'll call you in the morning. I looked at it and was like, hey, this looks like my fitness report. It's all the things I've been doing in service for the last, 18, 19 years. Yeah, I'll go and have the interview. 15-minute interview. We were in there for 45 minutes because we hit it off so well. 2 days later, I get the offer of an on-site. 2 days later, I'm at the on-site. I spent from 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock there. Every 20, 30 minutes, I would get somebody new walk in to ask me questions.
Oh my God.
I think I got interviewed from the janitor to the factory manager. And it was like, okay. And I'm sitting there laughing because I'm in the suit. And everybody else is in T-shirts and jeans. And the next day I got the job offer and they're like, when can you start? I'm like, Monday. And they're like, what? I'm like, well, I don't have to start on Monday, but I can
start Friday.
Yeah.
Monday's the second. If you want me to wait, whatever, I'm just used to people starting the first of the month.
Mm-hmm.
So no problem. We can get you there. I will tell you, I stayed for 4 weeks before I resigned and took a second offer that came in. And that second offer came in from LinkedIn. I knew what LinkedIn was. I'd been on it, but I didn't realize that people got job offers through LinkedIn.
Right.
So I made them jump through a lot of obstacles. I was like, I'm only available Saturday morning from 9 to 10. And, it was a fellow Marine veteran. We talked for 45 minutes about, did we ever share the same patch of dirt? And 15 minutes setting up the on-site visit. And so that Thursday, I hopped on a plane. I arrived in the morning. I walked across the parking lot to the office. No one interviewed me. We just had conversations, And then the CEO, she arrived. She's the only one who asked me for a resume. She looked at it for about 2 minutes and tried to give it back to me. And I'm like, no, I've got plenty. You can have that. Next thing you know, they're like, hey, go back to the hotel. We'll pick you up for dinner. At dinner, they presented the offer, which we already had talked about. I had a contingent offer to be a program manager for 2 Navy contracts.
This is a good segue because you guys have an event coming up. Networking, right? It sounds like you got your offers because of networking, and 80 to 85% of all job offers are through a network of some kind. I mean, a lot of times if you see a job, it's kind of too late to apply. So some of these networking events that you guys are doing is a chance to meet a ton of people. It's all about who you know when you're getting out. And it matters that you got your degrees, right? I mean, of course you have to have that. That just opens the door, but you have an event coming up in July. So when is that and how can people sign up?
So on July 10th, we're going to have our 21st Vets2Industry virtual networking circuit event. This is our centerpiece of what we do to connect everybody with those information, resources, employment opportunities, and to make those connections. You can go to our website, Vets2Industry.org, and you can click on our events page, and it's going to go pop up, and then you'll see all of our events there. You just follow that through. You'll get to our link so you can get registered. All of our events are 100% free. We do them on Saturdays because these are nationwide, and international. So we have people from overseas that are at installations that are trying to figure back out. And we also have people that are here, but plan on retiring and living overseas. So you never know what you're going to find, who's going to show up. And again, Michael, you said, it's who you know. I actually take that next step further. It's not who you know, it's who knows you.
True.
Because if I don't know you're looking for employment, I'm not working for you. But the second, I know you're looking for employment and I know what you want to do and where you want to be, all of a sudden, I am now someone who is working for you because if I hear something, I'm going to drop your name. I'm going to shoot you some information and say, hey, Michael, I want you to talk to the Sarah. Sarah's with ABC Company. And that's how things are done. Hey.
Yeah. Me and Serena, we learn something new every show, man. I mean, every time we bring someone on, and we say this every time, but we learn something new to help veterans. There's so many programs out there. Vets2Industry is another one of those programs that if people don't know about, especially if you're transitioning, go to one of these networking events, go to the one on July 10th. Even if you're a year out, it doesn't matter. You need to start networking now. Get your name out there. Let people know what you do, right? And if you're not sure, that's fine. Listen instead of talk. And maybe the next one after that, you'll get an idea.
I'll tell you, if anybody wants to volunteer and start to learn more about what it is to be a veteran advocate, to assist others with their transition process, we're an all-volunteer organization. Again, you can go to our website, Vets2Industry.org. And we contact us. You click on that tab, you're going to see two things. One, actual ways to contact us. And the second one is a volunteer form. And you click on that volunteer form, fill it out. We do a monthly volunteer orientation to bring them back on. And we get you back in there. And trust me, if you got time to give, we got time to put you to work. Come join us. It's a big family. We love to get bigger. And the more we have, the more we can help.
Well, hey, thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
It was nice talking to you. And hopefully, if you're listening, we will see you on July the 10th.
First things first, I completely lost my train of thought when he said that the Marines get paid to do the liaison work. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't lose focus, but I'm like, what?
You're like, hey, wait a minute, Mike. I did this shit for free for 3 years. What?
Yeah. And
actually,
then I did it again. Yeah. And then I did it again out of the kindness of my heart.
Now listen, you got to pay someone to deal with the Marine Corps, right?
God, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Well, Serena, you'll always have my undying gratitude. Is that what you say? Isn't that good enough?
Yes, it's good enough. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank God, because I'm broke.
Oh my gosh. Another program that I had never heard of. So once again, all these events that are available for people, the networking sounds great. I mean, I hope that our listeners are really finding some good information and are able to attend these events and go to these websites.
Well, if they're not, there's always unemployment.
Oh, come on.
So, Serena, I'll go first this week with my drink because I'm pretty happy.
Oh, well, are you usually not happy when you talk to me?
I'm pretty happy, but I've been not drinking as much lately. And I was like, let me back off on the bourbon and only drink it, 8 days a week instead of 10. So, I cut back a little bit. But
can I make a statement here real quick? I don't think I've ever seen you upset or mad ever, even working when it's a buzzer.
I try not to be. And if I ever got mad at someone, it was behind a closed door.
I'm impressed because I've never seen you mad. I don't ever want to see you mad, but.
Oh, no. It's not very pleasant, to be honest.
You're always happy.
Well, and that's what someone, I think the greatest compliment I ever got if you can call it that, is one of the chiefs that work for me.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm a lot rougher on chiefs than anyone else, right?
Sure.
I always said, find an anchor to blame, right? If something goes wrong, there's a chief somewhere, it's his or her fault.
Their fault, yeah.
But they're like, you are the only person I've ever met who can smile and just talk to me in a steady tone of voice and make me feel like complete shit. And I thought, man, that is the greatest compliment I've ever gotten.
That's a good skill. That's a good skill.
And I tell people, if you're in the military and you ever want someone to remember that they're in the military, you don't really have to yell. You just have to stand them at attention. Because once someone stands at attention, they're like, oh man, I forgot. I'm in the military.
Son of a gun. Yeah. Okay. Sorry for the interruption, but I was just thinking, okay. I'd never heard, I've heard a lot over 20 years from my spouse, and he never said how ever talked about you being angry.
See, when you work hard, there's no reason to get angry.
That's right. My hardworking husband. He's still at work right now.
Good Poor for guy. Him. Somebody's got to pay for that house. But what I was going to say is, they had a sale the other day on liquor, but so I may have stocked up. Uh-huh. But I started drinking. It's called Legacy.
Okay.
And I hadn't really had it before, and it's reasonably priced. It tastes good. Like when I go back, I think I'm going to stock up and get a few more.
Okay. What is it? Bourbon?
It's bourbon. Yeah. Oh. And I'd never heard of it, but it's really, really good.
I want you to take a guess of what brewery I'm drinking today.
Hold on. Is it the one we talked about last time? The local brewery? Did you call them yet?
I did not. There's been a lot.
Slacker.
I'm drinking well, you're going to hate it, so don't judge me, but it's a spiked seltzer.
What?
Yes.
You're drinking water.
No, because you can drink a lot of these and, always have a drink in your hand and then get buzzed. But it's a quirk. This one flavored is grapefruit. It's really good. And they come in variety packs. They have a citrus variety pack and then a herbal variety pack. They're good. Have you ever tried Mio in one of the seltzers? I have put Mio in gross. So because I like bubbly and I like Ozarka sparkling water. I like all those kind of sparkling waters. Uh-huh. There are some LaCroix sparkling waters that are foul, and I'll put Mio in those so I don't waste them. Oh, Regina puts Mio in some of those sometimes just so she can get them down. But I haven't had a sparkling seltzer yet, or a spiked seltzer yet that I had to doctor up. So you said you like the one you have now, right? Yeah, this one's grapefruit twist, and it's really good. So what's the name of that brewery again? Because I'm going to start charging them money. Boulevard Brewing, not sponsored. Maybe we should be. Boulevard, pay us. Yeah. You need to come in town so we can actually go to their brewery and go to their beer hall and hang out, because they have beers on tap that they don't sell in stores. So I have an idea. So we can do the podcast from your bar or something, and that's fine. But maybe you talk to them and say, hey, can we do one of our interviews from your brewery? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to look into this. All right. So I bribed Serena with alcohol. You heard it here. Thanks for listening to this episode of Diapers and Deployments, brought to you by Skill Mill. Go to skillmill.com to check out our blog and create an account. You can also find us on social media. Let us help you find your next career. Don't forget, that's skill with 2 L's and mill with 1. Until next time.